right, Rio Ohio, everybody. Sorry that this stream is so late today. Hold on. There we go. Wait. There we go. Good streamer. What's up, everybody? Okay. He's so good at the... Not so good at the video game. He's so good at the streaming game. Oh my god, speaking of, I need to schedule my... We got 3.0! We got our 3.0 announced recently! So I gotta figure out, I gotta decide what day I want to do our little 3.0 debut. We'll do that soon. We'll do that soon. Is it late for you right now? No. It's in the afternoon right now. But I'm glad to hear that it's a good time for you. Yeah. Stopping Wet Cat Ryoshi. What? Gonna have to ban on. That's crazy. No, yeah, 3.0. 3.0. Should be good. It's gonna be really good for be like perfect for like game stuff. I'm excited. I'm excited. So I think what we'll do for that is I'll probably do like I think what most people do, right, is they do like a little short, like maybe like 1 hour like showcase stream where you just kind of go through the different toggles and stuff. And like maybe do like green screen background so people can like clip it and or screenshot it and get like, you know, stuff for whatever they want to make. So I think we'll do that. I gotta just figure out what day I want to do that. This week has been kind of crazy for me. Last week and this week have been really crazy for me. Just a combination of work, but also just like family stuff going on. So I don't know if I'm gonna do it this week, but if I don't do it this week, I think next week should probably be a pretty good week for me to do it. So, because I want to be able to start using them. So I think we'll aim for next week probably. I think it's a good time. Sorry again, I don't have a schedule posted. Is it already Monday? Oh my god, I thought it was Tuesday for a second. I'm so lost. Sorry I don't have a schedule on Twitter. I didn't have a schedule on Twitter last week, and honestly guys, I don't know if I'm gonna have a schedule on Twitter this week either. Things are just too fluid right now with all the stuff I have going on. I do know we have a collab on Thursday with BB and Rico, and I know there's a bunch of stuff on Friday, but I'm not entirely sure like what all is happening on Friday. And then I think I'm busy on the weekend, so I don't think I'm gonna post a schedule. I'm just gonna post waiting rooms. So again, if you guys are trying to catch streams, just make sure you're subscribed here and you check out the waiting rooms and stuff. Okay, check out the main channel page so you can see all the waiting room stuff that's available. But yeah, anyway. Welcome to RyoMondays. Did I have any announcements that I wanted to make before I dive into this? I don't really think so. You get those thumbnail expressions. Yeah. All right. Take this off. Okay. All right, we have a bunch of things on Marshmallow to go through. So, bunch of things to go through on Marshmallow. Yeah. Let's go. I'm just gonna start reading through them. Thank you guys for submitting your messages and your questions. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Again, I'm just gonna be reading from the website, so I apologize that it won't be on screen, but this is just easier for me to do it this way. Okay, first one, let's say. Not exactly a question, but I wanted to say thanks for the long tweet you put out on Saturday night. By my time, I think it's something we and a lot of people really needed to hear. Hopefully more people listen to the points you were making it. Oh yeah, no, thanks for the message. Yeah. I like I said, I had to I felt like I needed to clarify as well, which I tweeted the other day. I think it was yesterday. I don't even know, man. I keep losing track of time. It wasn't even particularly about any like recent events in particular. I often just go on Twitter and I will just write out things. I just write out my thoughts and feelings about stuff, but it usually never leaves the draft, so I usually just delete it right away. That was just like a really rare instance where I was just like, I hit send. And the timing was very coincidental. So I apologize if there was any confusion about that. It wasn't in relation to other events happening in our sphere, because I legitimately didn't even know that was going on. I had literally just got on my computer. That was the first time I got on my computer that day. Could you put your Marshmallow link on the YouTube community tab? I don't have X. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let me do that. But yeah, that was just another like thought dump thing that I just wanted to say. Here, let me put this on the community tab for you guys. Sorry, my voice. Wants to submit questions or messages. I think I'm gonna close it right now so we don't get stuff in the middle of this stream. But then I'll open it up after the stream ends. Okay, so I'm gonna disable the messages in like incoming messages for right now, but then once the stream is over, then I'll turn back on. There we go. Okay, it's on the community tab for people who want to find the Marshmallow, but like I said, it will be closed for right now. And then I'll open it up later. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. If you guys have seen the long post, it's on my X if you want to go read it. I don't know if there's anything I really want to add to it here on stream or not. But I will say I do hope that I don't know. I just hate seeing that there are people, especially like in the NIJISANJI fandom. I really feel bad for a lot of the NIJISANJI fans who just feel like they can't celebrate their Oshis and like celebrate NIJISANJI accomplishments and cool, exciting things because people try to tear them down whenever they do, just purely because of the fact that they're NIJISANJI fans. And I think that's so stupid. Yeah, that was basically events about me expressing my frustration over how stupid that kind of thing is, because like anytime there's like a really baseless like us versus them kind of thing that just makes people like lash out against people just because they think that their group is better than the other group or somehow different or whatever, it's just so stupid, man. It's so petty, it's so stupid, because especially whenever there's like people I swear to God, like I wrote, like it just feels like people are LARPing in some battle and they think they're doing it some noble thing on behalf of their Oshis or whatever. It's like, dude, your Oshis do not fight like that behind the scenes. Like, we do not view each other that way. Like I said in my post, we're just content creators, man. Everybody here in this space is just trying to like live their dreams, you know. Everybody has that same underlying drive. It's why we do it. We know that. We recognize that in each other. Like I said, it doesn't matter what flag we're flying. It doesn't matter if you're indie. It doesn't matter if you're a corpo. It doesn't matter what corpo you belong to. Everybody here is just doing the same thing. We're just trying to be better versions of ourselves than we were yesterday. And live this crazy dream that we have. And and like, yeah, man, there's no war between us. You know, we might view each other as friendly competition, you know, and rivals, and compare ourselves against each other in that way, you know, because that's part of you know, doing what we do, and growing and learning to be better. But like, I swear it's our biggest competition is ourselves. That's the fight that we're always fighting every single day. We do not want fans fighting amongst each other, especially claiming to do it like on our behalf or anything like that. That is not like behavior that that any content creator wants. And anybody who does do that, I would strongly encourage you to stop and think about, is this behavior that your Oshi would be proud of? You carrying out like supposedly quote unquote on their behalf or under with their Oshi marks in your name or whatever. It's like, it's not behavior to be proud of. It's not behavior that your Oshis would be proud of. So I really strongly encourage people to take a look in the mirror if they are engaging in that kind of thing, and think about that and realize that we're not fighting. So we're not fighting against each other. So why are you trying to fight against other, you know, people who are just trying to enjoy the things that they like and support the people that they like. It's not harming you in any way. So don't go out and attack them. Don't go out and make them feel like they're not safe in their spaces. Don't make them feel like their Oshis can't participate in things that you would like to see them in participating in for fear that they will be attacked, or that you as a fan who wants to go to that kind of thing will be attacked. It's absolute nonsense and bullshit. And I'm just really, I'm just really sad to see that happen. It absolutely does not need to be that way. Like, as a community, this space could be so much better and so much safer than it is. And I wish we could move more in that direction of realizing that and having that conversation seriously. Yeah. So, again, all you have to do is just look to your Oshis and realize that they are not fighting against each other, you know, no matter what camp they belong to, or whether they don't even belong to one. Maybe they're just independent doing their own thing. Like, that's not how it is. And if anything, you see more and more collaborations happening between, you know, people flying different banners. Like, so just follow that example, I would say. Yeah. And really check yourself and think, like, is this behavior that my Oshi would actually be proud of or not? So anyway, there, rant over. That's that's all I want to say about that. So yeah, just be kind to each other, just be better. I know for all of you that I'm addressing here in chat, that's not a problem, and I'm proud of you guys for that. I know it's not a problem for you guys. That was just like my general, like, that's why I tend to stay away from social media, is because every time I swear every time I go on social media, it's like, there's plenty of good things, but there's plenty of also really obnoxious negative stuff that I just don't like seeing, because there should be none of that to begin with, in my opinion. But hopefully things will get better. And me personally, I don't really know how we get there, but I do think that it probably starts with at least, you know, individuals who are aware of it, you know, always like checking their own behavior at the door. I think that's how it starts. So thank you guys for being kind and supportive towards us, and you know, being well behaved. That helps. That goes a long way, in my opinion. Anyway, that's that. As far as like other stuff goes, like I said, I didn't make that post about other things that were happening in our sphere in regards to corporations and stuff like that. I do have my thoughts about that, but it's not, I don't really think it's the time or place. I think a lot of people are hurting, and rightfully so. So the one thing I wanted to say that I did tweet, and I'll reiterate it here again, is like, the thing that you can do as a fan, for those who are here, for those who are still here, for those that are going, and for those who have gone, just remember, like, the best thing you can do, like, if you're upset about the way things are, still one of the best things you can do is to just cheer hard and do your best to stay positive, for the people who are here, so that you do not sully the time that you still have with them. Like, especially if you know you only have a limited time, like, left with that person, like, especially in that case, like, would you rather spend that time being someone who's like doom posting and only talking about negative things, or would you and in my opinion, that like sullies the time that you have left, right, with them, for them and for you, right? Would you rather do that, or would you rather just do your best to try to have as much fun as you can and be as positive, rather than being someone who brings the mood down, not just for yourself, but for the other fans around you and for that person that you're cheering for? That's just my personal opinion. That's how I would personally go about things. So just something to keep in mind. I think it's really important to recognize that in this industry, no matter where anybody is, there is a relatively high turnover rate. It is not a problem. I don't even think it's necessarily a problem, nor do I think it's the thing that's unique to any specific group. It's just the nature of being a content creator. It is not something that people do for their entire lives. It is something that people do for a number of years, and then for whatever reason, typically choose to move on. So that's something to just be cognizant of. That's a reality that you do have to face. And so when you know that something is so finite as to just being limited to like a certain number of years, make the most of those years. Do not sully that time by being someone who's constantly doom posting and being negative. Like just do your best to enjoy it and have fun and be positive, because that's what we're trying to do. I can tell you from our side of things as content creators, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to maximize how much fun you guys as the fans have and how much fun we have as the content creators. So just like, again, just look, if you're not sure how to behave, in these kind of situations, just look to your Oshi, right? Look to your Oshis, look to the people that you enjoy, that you love to follow, and try to follow their behavior. You know? And if they're down, if they seem down, that is a great chance for you to step up as a fan to try to help make things more positive. Again, not just for you, but also for the other fans around you and for the person that you're cheering for. It's a great opportunity, and it goes a long way. You could either contribute to the problem by being negative, or you could try to turn things around. You know, that's just my take on that, personally. Just something to consider. Yeah, you have limited time with these people. That's just the reality of it. You have limited time. It's nothing surprise. It should be nothing surprising to people at this point. It's something that, you know, VTubing has been around for long enough now, and we see it happen time and again. So just like, you got to accept that reality and make the most of the time that you have. That's the message I want to get across. Anyway, that's that. That's my thoughts on that. So anyway, thank you for your kind message. I'm glad that you felt that it was something that you and other people needed to hear. Yeah. Okay, next message. Hi, Ryoma. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I was wondering if you'd be open to doing hand cam streams in the future. Yeah. It's just more about figuring out like what I want to do hand cam streams are about. I will probably do one soon. Yeah. I will probably do one soon. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I just was like, up to this point, I was like, I don't know what I want to do for one. But I think I will do one. I just gotta work on getting the setup for it. Like putting things together so that I can do it. Because obviously we have to be really careful. But soon, TM. Thank you for your message. I hope you look forward to that. Let's see. Next message. Hello, Ryoma. Hope you're having a nice day. I'm not familiar with this and not sure who to consult, so here to ask the old wise Ronin. There's this guy I am interested in, and we knew each other for a few years. We aren't close, but are friends. We bond over a few topics and text each other sometimes, but since we participated in school events together, we've been more close and text each other more. He texts to other girls in a friendship way, hopefully, but I'm kind of worried. There's a few things that happen that makes me think the feeling is mutual, but there's this voice saying, what if it's a friendship thing? I'm running out of time since school and other stuff. I know I won't be able to interact with them as much. I thought about shooting my shot, but we aren't that close, and it has a big possibility of ruining our friendship. But as mentioned, I feel like time is running out. Any advices on how to tackle this? Sorry for the long paragraph. No, it's okay. Thanks for all the context, because it makes it easier, especially for something like this. Yeah, that's so tough. Let me think for a minute. So first of all, I think the voice saying, what if it's a friendship thing is always very valid. I think that's I can't imagine anyone wouldn't have that thought process in this type of scenario, right? And then, yeah, the possibility of ruining your friendship is another, like, very, I think, valid concern that I think most people would have in this kind of scenario. And that's like correctly identifying the, like, I think if you're trying to think about, like, okay, I want to shoot my shot, but what's the worst thing that could happen? Well, the worst thing that could happen is that, you know, they say no, they aren't actually interested in you in that way, and then it makes things awkward. That is, so obviously you've thought about that, right? You've correctly identified that that's one of the things. So that's very, like, we just assure you that that's, like, a very valid and normal thing that you've identified. It's tough. I guess you have to kind of weigh. the thing that I've learned as the old wise ronin, the thing that I've learned is that as you get older, you really having regrets sucks. So which would be the bigger regret is one thing you have to sit down and think about. And there might not be a clear answer, and that's okay, but at least you will have been able to say that you at least put some thought into it. Is your bigger regret going to be that you never shot your shot and potentially got something that you really wanted, you know? Or would your regret be that you did shoot your shot and it turned out that it did play out the way that you feared it would, and, you know, that friendship became awkward and maybe you lost that friendship and it was never the same that it was before, you know? It's tough. It's definitely tough. The sense that you're running out of time, one thing you want to try to probably sit down and really give a good think about as well is having the perceived like timer on this, right? Having this perception that the clock is running out, is that influencing the way you feel at all? Like, if you were to remove that element of like a time limit, do you think you would feel as strongly in terms of like potentially like a romantic way that you do right now? Or do you think that the sense of like having this time that's about to expire is maybe somehow influencing and increasing these thoughts of like, you know, trying to take your friendship to something, to more of a relationship or not? That's something I would also be wary of if I were in your position. Like, if you had all the time in the world, if you didn't have to worry about school and stuff and whatever other influencing factors there are at play, do you think you would still feel that strongly about them? That's something else you need to think about as well. I feel like when you reach a certain age, it gets scary to take risks. Maybe that's just me, but I don't want to feel this way. Yeah, that's absolutely a thing too. Is one thing to remember is that as you get older too, it's harder to meet people. You have way more opportunities because you just are able to spend more time without other adult obligations when you're younger and in school versus when you're outside of school. That's another thing to consider. See, hey, Ray, because he is a year older than me, so next year he kind of leaves the school, I think. Probably not, but it's been a relatively new thing. Oh, okay, so this is, so he's leaving the school, like going to either maybe another school or going into the workforce or whatever. So yeah, the one thing I will say, again, kind of to the point I just mentioned, is that when you're younger, when you're in school, in my opinion, it's the time to just go for things. Because when you are older and you're out there in the adult world with all the adults, all the adult obligations and stresses and distractions that come with being a grown-up on your own, you really do lose. It feels like you lose that those chances to just go for things, right? You and everyone around you who is in a similar position is going to be a lot busier and more distracted, is another thing to consider. So like, it truly does feel that when you're younger, that's the time when you have the chances to just send it. You know what I mean? Like, that's your time to just send it and go for it. And because once that time is over, you kind of don't really get that time back, you know? It truly, like, when I consider how I am, the position I'm in now versus the position I was in when I was younger, I'm like, man, I wish I had made much better use of my time when I was younger, regardless of whether or not things played out the way that I wanted them to. Whether or not it was good or whether or not it was bad, I just wish I had had more experiences. I wish I had done more things. I wish I had taken more chances. The thing to also remember is that no matter what, whether it plays out well or it plays out poorly, that is an important life lesson that you're going to have. It's going to help you discover more about yourself, about like, and the It'll help you learn consequences of actions, because there will always be consequences to your actions. Not saying that's necessarily a negative thing. It can be a positive thing, but you will understand when I do this, this is potentially something that will happen, and this is how I will feel about it and how I will react to it. And that will help shape you moving forward as you continue to progress through life. You will continue to develop into the person that you kind of are going to become, if that makes sense. And if you just don't go for things because you're too worried about the consequences or what will happen, then you kind of miss out on those opportunities to learn those lessons firsthand. And those lessons can be incredibly formative. And again, I'm not saying they're all going to be good. It might feel bad, and that's okay. But it will be incredibly formative no matter what. And then there's that saying. How does that saying go again, chat? I always forget because my brain is like a sieve. Things just fall through it. But it's something like, he who worries before it is necessary worries more than it is necessary. So again, worrying about how things are going to play out before they even play out is making you suffer way more than, than like let the thing happen before you worry about how it's going to happen, if that makes sense, right? You're making yourself suffer even more by just being like agonizing over, oh, what if it happens this way? What if it plays out this way? He who worries more before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. So something to consider as well. So in particular, if you feel like you're under a time crunch, kind of in my opinion, even more of the reason to just send it, Send it. I feel like the more contributing factor is the girls around him and the time running out situation. That's another good one. Okay, again, similar to how I was saying, like, try to think about, my advice to you is think about, does having the time limit make him feel like an even more desirable thing? Are you like, is the time crunch making you feel like, I gotta? Similarly, does having other girls around him make you feel like someone's gonna snatch him up? So is that making him seem more desirable than he actually might be if you were to remove those factors entirely? One other thing to consider, like, is the time crunch and also other girls hovering around him that might be potential partners making him seem even more valuable and more desirable than you might actually feel about him if those factors were removed? Something to think about too. But I think the underlying advice at the end of the day is, like, from me, would still be like, if you still feel strongly about him, then just go for it. Just go for it. And if the friendship gets awkward, potentially even ruined, it sounds like he's moving on to something else in his life anyway. There's no guarantee that things would stay the same regardless, right? Even if you were good friends, sometimes it's just hard whenever someone moves on to a different stage in their life than you are at. It's still hard to keep up with them, no matter how good that friendship is. That's the reality. Me personally, I feel incredibly guilty that there are people who I haven't talked to and, like, thinking about it, like, in like half a year since debut. I absolutely love and care about these people the same amount since before, but I've just been in a different phase of my life now with so many other different things going around and flying around in my head and other obligations that it makes it hard for me to keep up with them. I do not care any less about those people, nor does my desire to keep in touch with them. It hasn't diminished in any way, but yet here I am and I barely talk to them and I feel really bad about that. So that's like another thing to consider, is that, like, even if you shoot your shot and it goes not the way that you want to, maybe that's okay, because it sounds like he's going to be moving on to a different part of his life anyway in the future. And your relationship with him now is still not going to be the same, no matter what, no matter how you shooting your shot goes. Hopefully that makes sense. There's a bunch of things to consider. But I think the thing I would really hone in on is the time crunch and having other girls around him making him seem like way more attractive than he would be in a vacuum. If that makes sense. Almost kind of like a beer goggles kind of thing is another analogy. When someone's like drunk, they're like, oh my god, the person's so hot, and then when you're sober, you're like, oh wait, never mind. It's like, do you have a lens? Do you have lenses on right now? Can you lift the lenses and then, like, really look at him objectively? And then, kind of go base your decision off of that, I think. Best of luck, friend. That's not easy. That's certainly not easy. But I know that we're all rooting for you. Next question. Hello, Ryoshi. What is your favorite burger? Ate any recently? Yes. And favorite burger? I haven't had my favorite burger in a really long time because I think I just have to just make my own. My favorite burger is just a smash burger, like a patty, like a smash patty with a toasted bun, probably like a potato bun or something, with melted American cheese on the patty and then mayo on the bun, and that's it. Because to me, that, because as long as the meat is really good and the buns are really good, that is the essence of a burger, right? Ultimately, a burger boils down to how good is the meat patty and how good is the bread. Everything else is just a distraction. And I mean, American cheese is just American cheese. It's going to be like the same kind of with mayo. You know, you can have whatever great toppings, you know, your favorite toppings, pickles, tomato, red onion, lettuce, whatever, bacon. But if your meat patty is bad and your bun is bad, then the burger is bad, you know? So my favorite burger is just like one that just has an incredibly well-seasoned, like perfectly seasoned smashed patty, and a nice toasted bun with mayo and American cheese. That's all I want. Yeah, Galaxy Burger flashbacks, yeah. That's my favorite kind, but you just can't really get those at restaurants. You know, that's like, I have to make that myself in my kitchen, you know. I don't like pickles on mine. No, I don't like pickles on mine. If I have a burger that has all the other things, like again, if I have a burger, I like onions, I like lettuce, I like tomato, I like pickle. If I'm doing the whole smorgasbord of like toppings, yeah, pickles. If it's just a smash burger, I just want cheese and mayo as toppings. That's all. That's all I want. How lean do you like your patty? I usually get like 80-20. I'm making burgers. Me eating instant noodles right now, imagining it as a burger. Yeah. The power of imagination. Jollibee does have. I have never been to Jollibee's. Pickles are the devil? Well, I wouldn't go that far. I like pickles. Like a pickle on the side, yeah. What's a Lotus Biscoff spread? I don't know what that is. That sounds so fancy. Like if I wanted to get, the closest thing I have in my area are like the smash burgers that are like, but they always put pickles on them, and they always have their like special house sauce, which is usually some sort of mayo ketchup mustard blend. And I'm like, I don't want that. That's just, you're just, to me, that's just trying to, to me, that's masking what I really want, which is just like a good patty with melted American cheese on it. It's like a sweet caramel kind of flavor. I've never heard of it before. Interesting. I love bacon jam on a burger. I've tried bacon jam before. I don't really like bacon jam. Maybe it's just the bacon jam I've had, but I wasn't a huge fan. I'm not going to lie. Not gonna lie. Why did you log me out, Marshmallow? I'm not a bot. Thank you for your burger question, Borgir. Next question. What is your setup? Monitors, PCs, keyboards. Yeah, I have a dual PC setup. So I have two PCs. I have one that's just, I run my game on. And then I have one that is just, runs my everything else. That runs my OBS, runs my model, runs my Discord, all that kind of jazz. Oh, I love arugula on a Borg. Me too. Yeah, shout out arugula. Arugula is goated. Yeah. I don't know what word didn't go through, but thanks a lot for the advice. I'll try to confess in an appropriate time. Thanks, chat. Yeah, no problem. Best of luck. My setup is complicated. I kind of hate how complicated my setup is. But again, I think I mentioned it before. This setup was birthed from an era of when computers were not as powerful as they are. That's why I have a 2 PC setup. I would much rather have a single really powerful PC. I'm sure PCs are probably I'm sure hardware is at the point where I could just have one PC and that would make my life so much easier. But no, I have 2 PCs right now. I don't even remember all the specs because they've gone through so many iterations at this point, but I know my gaming PC is like a 2080 Ti. I think I've got like 32 gigs of RAM. I don't even know what clock speed they're at. I have like 5 hard drives in this thing. Like I have the C drive that's kind of small that came with. It came with a 1 terabyte HDD, but I don't really run my stuff off of that because HDDs are not that good for games these days. So then I added, let me look at my drives. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I only have 4 drives. I thought I had 5. I have 4. Then I added a small SSD that I had. I think it was only like 150 gigs. No, it was like 120. So I added like a small 120 gig SSD at some point just to have a little more game space, but that one quickly filled up with like 2 games. So then I eventually bought like a 2 terabyte SSD, and that one's like 75% full with all my games on it now. I have 3 monitors. I have 1 for my gaming PC and 2 for my streaming PC. So the main gaming PC is obviously in the middle, and then the 2 streaming PC monitors are on either side. Keyboard, I have a Wooting 60HE, which I absolutely love. Incredible keyboard. I'm using the Wallhack SY001 for my mouse pad these days. I do also have the Pulsar Superglide glass mouse pad that I use sometimes just for fun. Whenever I feel like I'm playing badly on the cloth pad. I typically run the Pulsar X2 V2 Mini for my mouse. I do have the X-Lite V3 here and a Lamzu Atlantis Mini, but I haven't really touched those in a hot minute. The X2 V2 gets things done very well. And then I have a random like Logitech wireless mouse and a Logitech wireless keyboard that I use to control my stream PC, but those just are set off to the side. And then my stream PC has a Ryzen 7 1700 in it. That gives you a sense of how old it is, which is crazy to call that old because honestly it doesn't feel that old, but by now it's already kind of outdated. But that's what I use for streaming. And I also have a 2080 in there. Which I don't even use my CPU anymore. I used to use my CPU, but now I use my 2080 because, you know, we have more codecs that are good, you know, using, was it HEVC, for streaming, and like the encoder, and I upscale from 1080 to 1440 when I broadcast to YouTube so that I get access to the, what is it, the VP09? I think it's the VP09 encoder, or encoding for better looking streams for high motion stuff like Apex. Yeah. I had the same thing for Gen Ryzen. Nice, yeah. What would you recommend for your first ever gaming setup? Just a PC. I think PCs in general stay, like, good entry level PCs stay around like the what, like probably $1,200 mark. I haven't actually looked. I actually don't know what prices are like because I've seen the economy of computers go from being pretty affordable and where building your own was cheaper to just skyrocketing. You know, when we went through the whole like Bitcoin mining thing where piece components were really hard to get, and you had also had component shortages, so things were just like through the roof. And I have no idea where things are settled at this point. I don't know if they're still high or if they're low or what. But basically, these days you can get a good pre-built PC. You don't. It used to be back in my day. It used to be the only way to have a good, powerful PC was to build your own, because you would have to get all the components individually, and it was cheaper than buying it pre-built. I think these days, I think last I saw, the pre-builts are basically just a moot point. You could buy all the parts individually, but part prices went up, so you might as well just buy a pre-built, and it's pretty much the same. Literally anything with like any sort of recent graphics card is gonna be fine. Honestly, I'm still running a 20 series card and it works great. I think you could even run a 10 series card, like a 1080, and you'd probably be fine for most stuff. But plenty of things come with like 30 series and 40 series cards these days. So yeah, I think if you're spending around, at least the last time I ever looked, if you were spending around like $1,000 was like very low end entry, but it was still gonna be fine for what most people are playing. So anywhere, I think if you're spending anywhere from like 800 to 1200, you're getting in on that like low end. And again, I'm outdated on prices at this point, but back in the day, that was gonna get you the very low end entry pre-built PC, and that was fine for what most people need. Most people are not playing games like trying to play like competitive FPS like I do, and trying to get like as much performance out of them as possible so that you're minimizing input lag and like stuttering and blah 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 blah. Like you could spend $800 to $1,200 and be totally fine for most use case scenarios. If you're spending over $1,200, then you're kind of getting into the mid range. You know, I would say anywhere from like $1,200 to $1,800. You're probably right there in that mid range, and anything like $1,800 or even maybe $2,000 and above, then you're on like the high end, and that's where, you know, at the high end of things, honestly, in my opinion, you're starting to get diminishing returns. It's more, you know, just like how custom and how much you're trying to flex. But in reality, yeah, just spend like around $1,200 probably, and you're probably fine. In my day, at least in my day. Yeah. Hey, imagine playing Microsoft Solitaire on that, and the animation for the cards when you win must be super nice. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. The thing you have to remember when you go to look, especially because pre-built, they're called systems integrators. Companies that sell pre-built gaming PCs, they want to convince you to spend more, and they want to convince you that you need to spend more in order to like be able to get the most out of your setup. But again, the reality is that for the vast majority of people's use case scenarios, they don't need to go above and beyond. Like, most people are not going to be trying to play at a competitive level, nor are they even going to know the difference. So like, honestly, just get something that's more fits your budget, and it should be totally fine. You know, should be totally fine. In my opinion. But I've been kind of out of the PC building game for a while, so I've been out of the game for a while though, so just let me preface that. Thank you for your question though. I will still always advocate over getting a PC over getting like a console though, because consoles are crazy money pits in my opinion, because you're always being told you need to upgrade, and they are very expensive. The only reason I would ever get a console is if that's where all my friends were. I would only ever get a console for the community. I've low-key been kind of considering buying a console just to be able to play with my family members who are still like the guys who just, you know, who have like Xboxes and PlayStations or whatever, and they just get off work and then they go, you know, they jump on their couch with their big screen TV and they play like on Xbox together or like PlayStation. I've low-key been considering just buying one so that I can actually spend time with them doing that. Because a lot of people are just like console gamers. They're not really into they still think PC is like too confusing and too hard to get into. So like, I think it also depends. Like I would rarely ever advocate for getting a PC, or I mean a console, because I think that PCs are better value for gamers than video game consoles. However, the exception to that rule is if everybody who you want to play with is already on console, they're probably going to stay on console. So then it's probably fine. You know, it's kind of what's more important to you is having friends and family to play with regularly more important to you than having like access to like a much bigger library of games that are also cheaper. Kind of just depends on what you're going for, you know. But like, I'd be so down. Like the only reason I'm like, maybe I'll just buy an Xbox so I can play Call of Duty with my family members, you know, or like something. But then, you know, that's the only for anyone who wants to just like be able to play lots and lots of games, especially more affordably, get a PC. It's way better. It might be initially higher priced than a console, but like in the long run, much better value in my opinion. Much better value. Thanks for your question. Hello, Ryoshi. Any lessons you learned from building your project car? Oh, God. I mean, yeah. All kinds of lessons. I learned how to use a lot of different kinds of tools. I have just a garage wall full of tools now. Very helpful lessons are like how to change, you know, if you get a flat tire, how to change your wheel. Like that's a very basic lesson that I think a fair amount of people don't know. So that can actually save you in a pinch. So that's a very basic lesson. I don't know. How to jumpstart cars properly is another very basic lesson that I think most people should know, because you can do it wrong and absolutely destroy, you know, not just your car, but also the donor car as well. That's an important thing. One thing a lot of people might have like jumper cables. However, the thing I would get is you can get portable battery like packs. Like I literally have one that's like the size of my keyboard. No, not even the size, like half the size of my 60% keyboard. and it's just a little battery pack that I keep in my car, because my car dies a lot because I have a parasitic draw somewhere that I haven't been able to identify, so it will drain my battery sometimes overnight. And then I just hook that thing up. I don't need a donor car. I don't need like someone to like pull up and like, you know, run their car for 3 minutes while it's hooked up to mine. Like I just literally turn this thing on, stick it on my battery, get in my car, and it fires right up. That's a great thing to have that I would highly recommend getting, because it will save you in a pinch, and you don't have to like rely on somebody else, which could also be dangerous in some situations, like, you know, just interacting with a stranger. So like, get one of those. That's super helpful as well. But yeah, other than that, I have learned so many lessons, man. Learn how to use a variety of tools. It's one of those things where it really teaches you to like think about, like really plan a project out from start to finish. It teaches you how to like stick to something, because like with a car, you can't just start something. I mean, you can, but you shouldn't just start something and then like give up on it, because then your car, you can't drive your several $1,000 car anymore. You know, so it's like you gotta like see things through from start to finish. You gotta plan, you gotta troubleshoot. You're always gonna run into problems. Things are never done. Yeah, finding solutions to unique problems that pop. It's just a whole bunch of things. You learn the value of money. Working on cars is incredibly expensive. You learn how to wheel and deal on the old Facebook marketplace. Ugh. Yeah. I love working on cars, though. I love cars. Thank you for your question. Next question. Hello, Ryoshi. I started playing MTG Arena recently. Let's go. Do you have any tips or tricks for winning games? It's interesting. That's a good one. Well, first of all, I hope that you're having fun on MTG Arena. I absolutely love Magic. I've been actually teaching a family member recently how to play. Tips and tricks for winning games. The thing that I would say, and that I really tried to impress upon my family member early on, is that like one thing you got to acknowledge and accept very early on when you start playing Magic is that it is an extremely high variance game, and you will straight up lose games to just bad luck. Like, and you just have to be able to move on from that and just go next. You're gonna have games where you draw too many lands. You're gonna have games where you draw not enough lands. You're gonna have games where you draw incredibly well, but somehow your opponent just drew even better than you, like drew the absolute nuts. You will have games where you draw absolutely terribly, and you might even be winning for the most of the game, but then you just start drawing terribly, and your opponent somehow just draws out of it. Like, that's my number one tip, is just be able to accept that reality and understand that from the beginning, and like be able to go next. Just mentally move on from that. That's really helpful. Other tips and tricks for winning the games is there's a lot of times where people, okay, so one thing is understand, how does your deck win? You need to understand what your deck's win conditions are. What does victory look like for your deck? And be trying to play to those outs. Some people just like will go through and just play the game from start to finish, but have no real clear path to what they're doing. There are certain ways in which you sequence things. There are times when you don't play things because they're so valuable to your strategy that you don't want to risk them. Maybe it's better to hold off on implementing that until later, blah, blah, blah. So understand how your deck wins and make sure you're playing in such a way that maximizes your chances of like having the most outs. Play to your outs. Sometimes you will feel it's like you're in such a bad position that there's no way to win, but you do have maybe 1 or 2 outs. And you just sort of like, okay, how do I maybe win? And just don't give up and try to play the game in such a way that it gives you the chance to win if the opportunity arises. It's called playing to your outs. So understanding how to do that. Those are my tips. Yeah. Always play to your outs, because sometimes your opponent will make a mistake or you will draw. Like, sometimes games of Magic are so exciting because it literally comes down to like, you need to draw one specific card that turn, and if you draw that one specific card, you can win. Or if your opponent doesn't draw, like you're like, oh, my opponent needs to whiff and not have this, and I'm just playing for the chance that if they don't have this on this turn, then I can steal victory. And then you do, and then that's awesome, and then you feel like a genius. Those are my tips and tricks. Best of luck. Have fun in Magic. Next question. Hi, Ryoma. I was wondering if you might be interested in an Apex stream featuring a hand cam. Let me know what you think. You know, I thought about it. I thought about it for like doing like guide videos for movement stuff, but the problem is like because of my position as a company VTuber, I have to be like really careful with my hands, and like with hand cam stuff, and I have to have my hands covered. And I've tried doing it so that I could maybe potentially do it, and it's so hard. Having to wear gloves and do the things that I do in Apex is like incredibly difficult, because it just completely changes the way that like mechanically playing the game feels. Does that make sense? Like not having contact with the mouse, like just having that extra material between your hands and the mouse, because like I even have like an arm sleeve that I don't really use because it's the kind of arm sleeve. I have two arm sleeves. I have one that extends up to my wrist and doesn't cover any part of my hand, and I have another one that covers half my hand, if that makes sense. So it doesn't go past my knuckles and my fingers. It just stops right before the knuckles, and it covers part of my thumb. So it's like a half hand sleeve glove, if that makes sense. And I don't play with that one because even just that extra material that covers like my palm and my thumb, the way that it changes the way that the mouse feels, and changes my grip on the mouse because there's extra material there that I bump into. It just completely fucks me up. So I don't play with that one. I bought the other one that just stops at my wrist if I ever want to play with an arm sleeve. I bought that one specifically because even just having, and it's thin. It's like a thin, like, what is it? Probably spandex or nylon or whatever, polyester. I don't know. But just even having that very thin material there is enough to throw me off my game and mechanically change the way that I'm able to play, that I just can't do it. And then that's not even like close to like having, so if I was to do a hand cam stream, I'd have to have my hands fully covered, right? So that'd be even harder. It would be, my fingers would also be totally covered. The material for those kind of things usually is thicker. And that's not even to mention like how much that would mess up my ability to do the inputs on my keyboard. Because A, I can't really feel the keys anymore. B, it's probably a little bit slippery, and C, the stuff that I do in Apex, the movement stuff that I do requires such like precise timings and inputs that I just wouldn't be able to do anymore. And I would be floundering around like a fish and get really frustrated. So I can't do that, unfortunately. Yeah. Just wait for 3D and do the fancy things. Yeah. Maybe if we ever get home 3D, you'll be able to see me at least, like, you know, moving my arms around and stuff. Who knows? Makes sense. People underestimate how much we use our sense of touch for actions. That and muscle memory too. It's like very, very, very even minute changes in something. I hate that throws me off as bad as it does. I used to compete in things, and the hardest thing for me was going to like a LAN setup, because even if I brought my keyboard and mouse and my mouse pad, just being on a different setup where the chair is different and the chair height is different and the desk height is different and the monitor, whatever adjustability it might have, was different. That enough was to always completely throw me off my game, to the point where I would just underperform terribly. I hate the fact that my muscle memory, I'm someone who requires my setup to be exactly the way that it always is, if that makes sense. So like any minor changes throws me way off my game, and I am so envious of people who that doesn't seem to affect them, where you can, like, there are some people who are just so skilled and maybe even naturally talented where you can just throw them on anything. You can throw them on any setup, any different mouse, any different keyboard, and they're just, it doesn't even register in their mind, seemingly. They just play the game at the same level. I wish I could do that, man. But I am so conscientious of when something is different that it drives me insane, and I hate that. I hate that. Home 3D and seeing you pick up pet lady Suriano. Oh yeah, that'll be fun. It feels off. Something about my setup feels even a smidge different. Yeah. Have you seen the meme of the Korean programmer Flash? He takes a ruler out to measure the distance between the desk and his keyboard at every studio. I haven't seen that meme, but I totally get that. I get that. I think it takes time to adjust for me. Yeah. Next question. Oh, hi Ryoshi. What's your favorite Halloween candy? I like Nerds. Give me the little crunchy Nerds candies. Peanut butter cups are good. Basically anything chocolate. I'm a big chocolate fan. Big fan of chocolate. Anything, pretty much. I miss the Nerds rope. I don't think I ever got that for Halloween. I'm not saying that, but I just remember Nerds rope because it was just licorice and Nerds, and I'm like, I love both those things. Goated combination. Why do they still make those? I wonder if they still make those. I like Nerds though. They are crunchy and they're sweet, and you can just they're bite-sized enough. You can just open up one of those little mini boxes that you get and just dump the whole thing in your mouth if you wanted to. Go crazy. Go stupid. Do I have a sweet tooth? Not really. Not really anymore. Sometimes I do, but some days I do. But it's way more dumbed down than it used to be. I really... How do I describe? I will like crave a sweet thing. But after like a few bites, I'm kind of good. I do occasionally have days where I will be like, I could eat 3 donuts in a row. But then most days I'm like, I will have a couple bites and then I'm like done. So like I pretty much never order desserts at restaurants because I'm like, yeah, it's not worth the money because like I only want a couple bites of this. So yeah, it's weird. It as you get older, your sweet tooth kind of goes away. It's crazy. Like I used to be like I could drink like multiple. I would have like a can of soda and I would want another one right after. I never would really drink another one, but sometimes I would. These days, if I get a craving for a soda, I will drink like half of it and then I'll be like, I might just go dump this out. It feels so wasteful to me, but like why make myself consume more of this when I'm not really feeling it? That's kind of where I'm at in my life right now. It's kind of boring, but that's kind of where I'm at right now, you know? But yeah, thank you for your question. Next one. Hello, Ryoshi. I hope you're doing well. I just want to say thank you for being here in NIJISANJI EN and with us fans. Your presence here have been such a delightful and amazing one. You're doing so well, Ryoshi. Always love watching your streams, lurking. Sometimes I'm shy to chat or preoccupied and chatting when I can. By the way, Apex became my #1 game in YouTube recap because of you, and you were my #1 streamer with 0.1% top rate of me watching you. You're awesome, Ryoshi. I'm just happy that you're my Yoshi. Proud of it. Sorry for this random marshmallow. Take care. No, thank you for the kind words. That's so fun to hear. I appreciate the kind words. It's funny. I saw many people share that where they were like, "Oh man, like Ryoma was my #1 and Apex was my #1." It's probably just those really long Gorilla Apex streams. Like. We just rip like a 6-hour Apex stream or something, So thank you for watching me. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. It's really wonderful being here with all of you. And yeah, that's so funny. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. The NIJISANJI fans are really awesome, and you guys are really, really dedicated and really strong, and I appreciate that. So thank you. Apex became my top category. Yeah, I saw that. I saw a lot of people were like, "Oh, I guess Apex is my top category now." That's so funny. That cracks me up. Thank you guys. Thank you. Okay, next one. Hey! You watched the Top Gear Grand Tour and the final episode. And which challenge do you want to do IRL from the show? You know what's really funny is I haven't really watched the show that much. I haven't really watched it that much. I actually did watch. I watched the first time I've ever actually watched a complete episode. I watched it really recently, like a couple weeks ago. But it was with the new host. It wasn't with the classic trio. It was with the new hosts. But it was a really cool episode because it was one where they were taking a bunch of like young like teenagers and giving them the chance to participate in like a GT team. So, you know, they had 2 drivers. Basically, there was like a pool of candidates, and they ended up selecting 2 drivers and 2 mechanics from that. And then they basically, or wait, maybe it was cup car racing. I can't remember what discipline it was within. But basically, anyway, it was taking these kids and putting them in an actual professional setting, where they otherwise would never have the ability to. Because the reality about motorsport is that, like, typically the challenge with motorsports, getting into it at a very professional level, is it costs just a ton of money. Like more money than people usually have. You kind of have to be almost born into a motorsports like legacy, if that makes sense, to participate in a lot of cases, which is crazy. So it was basically taking kids who didn't have that privilege and giving them the chance to actually like firsthand experience that scenario and get trained by professional teams. And it was really cool. It was really fun to watch. So I had a lot of fun on that one. Yeah, I definitely need to watch more like Top Gear Grand Tour stuff. When for me, when it comes to consuming car content, I just watch YouTube videos. I just have my favorite, you know, like content, like car content creators. You know, like these days I watch a lot of like Vintra, ever since he left Hoonigan. Like I used to watch Hoonigan a lot. You know, I'll still watch the Hoonigan videos. Things have changed, obviously, but I still watch them. Like, same with Donut Media. I still watch Donut Media. I still think it's really good. But I also like watching, like, I like watching Big Time, you know, for the guys from Donut who split off and started doing their own thing. Same reason why I like watching like Vin do his own thing now, too. Just stuff like that. Most of my car content is consumed through just watching, like, YouTubers and YouTube channels. And I love doing that a lot. Yeah. Thanks for your question. Hi there, Ryoma. Can we know Sir and Lady Ryonon backstory? I don't really know what kind of backstory there is. I don't really know. Is there a backstory? They are cats. They are cats and they do cat things. Yeah. I'm trying to think, is there any like fun backstory stuff? I don't really know. I just love my cats very dearly. I got them at different times. I had one cat before who sadly passed away, and I got Sir Ryonon sometime after that when I was ready to get another cat. And then my first cat was very like, I let him be an outdoor cat, which I keep these ones inside. I learned that lesson the hard way. But he was just very happy, very independent, but Sir Ryonon, I could tell that he just needed, you know, he would do well with another cat in the house. So eventually I got Lady Ryonon sometime after that. And then the rest is history, honestly, you know. The rest is kind of history. I just got them, found people online who had the cats. And oh yeah, so Sir Ryonon, actually, yeah. Okay, so Sir Ryonon, I got from a family because they had brought him in when he was a baby. But they already had an older cat in the house. And the older cat, they had hoped to become a multi-cat family. But the older cat, I think, was just too old and was way too territorial. And did not take kindly to baby Sir Ryonon in their territory. And the family tried to make it work, but it just wasn't working. So they were like, sadly, you know, we don't think we can keep this cat. It's just not a healthy environment for him. So I got him from that family. So that there is a little backstory for that. And I think that's why he is such an aggressive eater. He's such a chunky boy and he always just loves food. I think it probably stems from him being, when he was little, if I had to guess, he was probably bullied out of the food by the older cat. So he just vacuums up any food he can now. I think sometimes that happens with cats where when they're young, if there's a lot of competition in the litter for food, sometimes that stays with them. So I think that's one thing for him. And then Lady Ryonon I just got from a family that I found online, and she was just a baby. He was a little baby. And she's my little sweetheart. She's my little sweetheart, you know, very ragdoll-esque. She's so cuddly. Yeah. So there's a little bit of backstory for those two. Let's see, next question. Hello, Ryoshi. Have you taken the rice purity score before, and are you willing to share your score? I have no idea what that is. I have not taken the rice purity score before. I don't know what that is. I always wash my rice before I cook it, though. They say wash your rice 3 times. That's a lie. Rarely does washing your rice 3 times result in sufficiently clean rice before you cook it, okay? If anything, it usually takes twice that amount. I just keep going until there's no more gunk coming out of the water, until it's pure, clean rice water. You know? Yeah, just wash until it's not cloudy. Yeah, exactly. It's an online quiz to see how sussy you are. Ah. Guys, I don't think you're gonna find anything exciting there. Sorry. I was just told to wash until it gets clear. Yeah, that's how you should do it. You should keep washing your rice until it comes out clear. But some people will say, oh, wash your rice 3 times, you know? And like technically that's sufficient because like technically yes, that's fine because three times is enough to get like a fair amount off, you know. So 3 times is sufficient, arguably, but if you really want to go for like the best possible delicious piping hot steamed white rice, then just keep going until it's clear. So thank you for your question. Hello, Ryoma. I'm a Japanese listener. I'm studying English and can't write well, so I use translation. Sorry if it is hard to read. I liked you when I saw your karaoke off collaborations. Since then, I've been watching your delivery little by little. I'm in a different time zone, and sometimes the stream starts at 3 a.m. Oh, I'm sorry. So I can't watch it in real time, but I enjoy watching the archives and clippings. I also watch the shower challenge every time. Thanks for coming to NIJISANJI EN. Please let me continue to support you a lot. Thank you so much. Arigato. Ketajaganai. I know, I'm so sorry that my stream times are not friendly for everybody. Your English is great. Thank you so much for your message. I'm glad that you found me from the off collab, the karaoke. Pastries, 20 gifted. Hello? Thank you for 20 gifted. That's insane. That's a lot of money. Thank you so much. That's so generous. Thank you for sharing those with the community. W gifted. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. And thank you to the person who wrote this message. Arigato. I'm glad that you were able to find me, and I am glad that you're enjoying the archives and clips and the shower challenge videos. Thank you. Please continue watching and enjoying NIJISANJI EN, and I hope that your English studies are going well. Thank you. Did we just start? We've been going at it like an hour. What up, Solty? Welcome. Thank you, Pastry, so much. That's a lot of money. I really appreciate it. Thank you for gifting 20 gifted to the community. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity. Next question. If you could envision all of the qualities of what you think makes someone awesome and put that into a character, how would you describe them as? Define what an awesome character is to you. Do they embody any particular morals or traits you find admirable or astonishing? Whoa, that's a hard one. Put into a character? Are we talking about like a character in like a show or a game or something? Man. That's tough. If this was like a fictional character, if it was like someone that I wanted to watch in a show, I guess. I'm just gonna operate off the assumption that it's like we're talking about like a fictional character in like a show or game, I guess. So in that kind of context, It's funny because I think I tend to, I think it would be opposite of what I would really like in like an actual person, but again, because it's a work of fiction, right? Like I have my qualities that I like in people in real life, but I think when it comes to like fictional characters, like for example, like I always enjoy whenever I'm watching like a rom-com, I tend to always really root for like the tsundere characters because I think they're just really entertaining to watch. I would absolutely hate dealing with that kind of friend in real life. As an example, like I think the tsundere characters in like rom-coms are really cute and I often am rooting for them. But in real life, if that was my friend, I'd be like, you are being so obnoxious right now. Just please tell them how you actually, like, just be honest and tell them how you feel. Please. Like, it would drive me insane in real life, but like in fiction, I love that. I think similarly, in real life, I really, you know, am drawn and try to surround myself with people who I think are really genuine and very honest and have very good morals, like good moral compasses, you know. But when it comes to like fiction, the characters that I tend to like in fiction often are not that way. If anything, I often am drawn to like the anti-heroes. I always think they're really, I always end up rooting for them, and I really like those kind of characters. You know, it's like kind of the characters who there's what you should do, and you know, how do I describe? Like sometimes they're the characters where they are bound by what they can do and what they should versus what they should do or what they want to do. And I often find myself rooting for those kind of characters who are able to go beyond the bounds of what they are supposed to do. You know, I don't know. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. So it's for me, I think I tend to go the opposite way when it comes to like fictional characters and who I like watching. And cheering for, you know. Shout out to women in fiction who are very mean and kind of evil. You know, yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, yeah. Jackson, thanks so much for the gifted. I appreciate that. Thank you. Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't really know enough about Shadow the Hedgehog or Sonic the Hedgehog to know whether or not I agree with that. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. So yeah, I think if I was to envision the qualities of a character that makes someone awesome, I'm like, I like the characters that are kind of badass, that you know, aren't afraid to operate outside the bounds of what are necessarily always morally correct or whatever. You know, who are just sort of, I don't even know, man. I don't know. So there's that. Yeah, I guess I kind of have like two categories. I have like the kind of like badass characters. Maybe they're anti-heroes. Maybe they're even straight up the bad guy. I don't know, but I end up like really enjoying those characters and watching that story play out. And then more of like a romantic or like rom-com scenario than I like the ones that are like the tsunderes, who are a little way more guarded with how they actually feel and can't communicate their feelings properly and blah blah blah. Yeah, in fictional settings, I like those kind of people. But it's like the opposite of like how I actually want to interact with people IRL. So that's a really fun question. Thank you. Hopefully that was interesting. Next message. This one just says Ryoma Barrenwort. Real. Ryoma Barrenwort. Thank you for your message. Man, I wish I had, how does that meme go that I see online sometimes? Like where it's like, man, I wish I had enough followers that I could just like tweet Ryoma Barrenwort and get like 50 replies that say real or something. How does that meme format go? That's what that made me think of. Thank you. Next question. Ryoji, what do you think about Crocs? I always get made fun of for wearing Crocs, but they're comfortable and easy to clean. Are they a fashion no-no? Be honest. I want a pair of Crocs. That's a great reminder that that's something I need to ask somebody to get me for the holidays. Like if anyone asks me, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, I don't have a pair of Crocs and I want a pair of Crocs. You can even decorate Crocs. I remember being at like the Nintendo store in Japan, and I think they had these things that are specifically designed that like you can put like decorations on them, like pins or whatever. I'm like, that's so cool. No, I think Crocs are dope. I think anybody who makes wear of Crocs is in denial and just upset that they don't have a pair. Because they're supposed to be incredibly comfortable, right? The Ita Crocs. Yeah, like Ita, yeah. Itasha Crocs. Yeah, they're the little like badge, like pin things, you know? You can even get Crocs charms for your Crocs. Yo, dog, we heard you liked Crocs, so we got you Crocs charms for your Crocs while you're wearing your Crocs. I don't know. I think they're cool, and I want a pair. Yeah. I want a pair. Thank you for your question. How do you like your eggs in the morning? Is this a callback to my debut voice pack, or is this just genuinely, are you curious how I like my eggs in the morning? I can't tell if this is a callback to our Denauth, to my debut voice goods or not. Regardless, I like my eggs scrambled. Sometimes I do sunny side up if I'm feeling particularly lazy and don't want to have to deal with cleaning a bowl and like a whisk. But otherwise, if I'm not feeling lazy, then I'm scrambling those suckers. Pastry, thank you for the super. Not Crocs, but shower food. Grapes are easy to acquire and easy to eat. Shower food? I don't eat in the shower. Is that a thing? Do you guys eat in the shower? I mean, yeah, I could see grapes being easy to consume in the shower, and it doesn't matter if they get wet, you know? So, sure. I don't know. I don't bring food into the shower with me, though. I always separate shower time and meal time for me personally, but I absolutely could see how grapes would be like a very manageable food in the shower. Maybe those relaxing baths. Oh, I could see that. Yeah, I mean, if I had a bath and I had one of those tables that goes across them, you know, I could have a whole charcuterie board, you know, built out for bath time, I guess, you know, like cheeses and fruits. Sure. But I don't. So I've heard of shower oranges. I think any kind of fruit, yeah, would probably work. Have you not heard Aya proselytize about shower oranges? All right, I'm gonna have a conversation with Aya after this. How was this miss my bus listening to the stream? No. All right. Interesting, but I could see fruit making sense. I could see like certain vegetables making sense, like carrots. You can have like a shower carrot, I guess. I don't know. Talk to a certain cop too. Okay, interesting. All right, good to know. Interesting. Thanks for the super pastry. Thank you for the question as well about my eggs. Weird sentence out of context. Next question. If your main color wasn't red, what would you like it to be? Happy Monday, Ryoma, and many well wishes. Green. I think green. I think it's another one of those weird things that comes with aging. I did not used to like the color green. I really like the color green now. I think green would be cool. Green would be cool. If not green, you know what other color combination I really like is, so I like the color combinations of like gold and green or yellow and green. I also really like the color combinations of like yellow and pink. That would be a cool one too. Yeah, I think if I was a red, I'd rather be pink. Yeah. Thank you for the question. This next question just says yes or no. I don't know. What's the correct answer here, chat? What's the correct answer? The correct answer is or? A secret third thing, perhaps. Yesn't. All right, my answer is or. I choose the middle answer, or. Thank you for your question. Next question. Hi, everyone. How are Hey Ryoma, are you in the comic books? If you could have any superpower, which one would you choose? I'm not in the comic books. You know, I haven't ever really been into the traditional like DC and Marvel like superhero characters or comic books at all. It just wasn't something that I grew up with. Not to say that if I ever sat down with them, I wouldn't be. I just never have. But if I could have any superpower, which one would I choose? I want the ability to instantly teleport wherever I want to go, anywhere in the world. That's the superpower I would want. Flying would be cool, but it seems like way less efficient. I just want to be able to go to point A to point B, you know? I feel like that would be useful both in casual settings where it's like, hey, I just want to go visit this place. Boom. But also in times of duress, if I'm like under attack, I could be like, later nerds, peace out, and then just teleport and be gone, you know, get out of a sticky situation or whatever. So yeah, teleportation seems pretty lit. Thank you for your question. Next one, thoughts on Marshmallow, burnt or not burnt? Toasted. It should be a nice golden brown on the outside and melted on the inside. Although I'm not really a huge marshmallow guy, I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely not just like, you know, it's one of those things where I enjoy cooking the marshmallow over the open flame. I don't actually care about eating it. I will have fun doing the process of cooking it, but I don't even care if I eat it or not. Unless it's in a s'mores, maybe. But, you know. So if you teleport, are you still part of NIJISANJI Drive? You know, if I would still drive. I am part of NIJISANJI Drive out of necessity because of the fact that I can't teleport. Let's just put it that way for now. But I also would still drive, you know. Next question. Hi, Ryoma. I've been a Niji lurker since 2022 and thought I would stay that way, but watching you has made me, in many ways, a changed person. I've recently adopted your grandpa core. I put my own spin on it with flat caps, boots, and minimally graphic cardigans and sweater vests. Oh, hell yeah, and followed your tips. It's made so much difference in my confidence. A while back, the girls of Aluna did a fashion stream, and I was wondering if you have any plans to do anything similar. If so, I would love to see it. I'm so happy for you. I'm cheering for you on your fashion journey and all the fun and confidence that comes with it. That's amazing. I'll have to check out the fashion stream that they did and just see what the format was. I don't know if I have any plans to do like a fashion stream per se. I always am like, I always want to post pictures of my clothes. Kind of like we did. I've done a couple pictures now, like you can see my feet, my shoes. But I always have like partial hesitation between like, I don't want to give away too much because then I have to be careful about what I actually wear in real life, just on the off chance that anyone identifies me. Like, you don't really want to have to worry about that. You know, and also anytime there's anything that I have to get checked, I'm just lazy. I don't want to have to get things checked, so I just don't do them. So there's also that. But, you know, if it's just talking about fashion, I love just talking about fashion, which we've done a lot of times, like here on RyoMondays. You know, got the sweaters, cardigans, and sweater vests. Hell yes. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that for you. I am glad that you are having a fun journey. Fashion is so much fun. Thank you. Okay, next one. Ryoma. There's a lot of A's. Yeah, really amazing. Happy half anniversary. I really watched your stream, and of course, when you're yapping and have a snack. I hope you feel happy and proud of yourself. Thank you so much. I can't believe it's been half a year already. Oh my god. I'm glad that you are having fun on the streams and enjoy me yapping and snacking, because you'll get a lot of that here. Thank you. Next message. Just want to use this to tell you I'm proud of you and thank you for being the best Ryoshi. Oh, thank you for the kind words. Thank you everybody for all the kind words. I appreciate it. Next one. Ryo Hayo, thank you for the karaoke stream. Your singing voice moved my heart deeply. Watching you get along so well with Denauth makes me so happy. I truly love you all. Next spring, when I welcome Pape, I'll take them to so many places with me. Yeah, please take the Pape everywhere and lots of pictures and stuff. We're also excited to finally have Papes because I think they're such a cool little piece of merch, you know. So yeah, thank you so much. I'm glad that you like the karaoke stream. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Next one. Ryoma, what's your favorite snack from the trip? Favorite snack from the trip. My favorite snack from the trip are the little fruits, the little fruit packets that I buy at the konbini. Specifically, my favorite ones are the sliced apples. Specifically, the sliced apples. Were you able to get a real Pape for yourself? Yeah, I've got one for myself. Whenever they ship out, I will have all Denauth as well. I will have all Denauth. Yeah, I like to get the little. I always buy I go to the konbini and buy the little packets of fruit, sliced fruit. I also like the little like oranges, but the problem is they come in like the fruit juice, and so then it's kind of hard. You can't eat them on the go. Because you have all this fruit juice. You can drink it, but I don't know. I don't like drinking the water as much. Yeah. Oh my god, and I bought these chocolate like covered almonds, I think they were, that I brought home with me at the konbini, and I demolished that box in like 2 days. It was incredible. They were so good. So I'm gonna buy those next time I'm there again. They were so good. So next time I go there, I'm going to the konbini and I'm getting my fruits, and I'm also getting my chocolate covered almonds. They were really good. Hi Ryoma, do you have any embarrassing story that you feel comfortable to share? If not, you can tell us. If this happens to me, I will perish scenario. P.S. I just want to say you're amazing. I love all your VPs. You show so much voice dynamics. I hope more discover your amazing voice. Oh, also your singing voice is great too. Have a great day. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words. Thanks for buying the VPs and supporting me as well. I'm glad that you like them. Let's see. Do I have any embarrassing stories that I feel comfortable to share? You know, embarrassing stories. I don't really think I do. Was it Meiji almonds in a box? I think it might have been. That sounds like maybe. Yeah. I don't really think I have that many embarrassing stories. If anything, I wish that I had taken more chances in my life and put myself out there to have to actually have experiences where I could be like, oh yeah, there was this one time, man, I made such an idiot of myself. I was just so reserved and just didn't go out and didn't put myself out there at all when I was younger, to really have any of those kind of things. And I wish I had, you know, so that I did have those kind of stories. Yeah, not even in my teams, especially not even in my team. I'm way more outgoing than I am now as an adult than I was ever when I was younger, than I ever was when I was younger. Yeah. I can't really think of any. I have one that I don't know if it's really embarrassing, but it's more like one of those things. I am the kind of person that will rethink over like social interactions, like months, even years after they've happened, to be like, oh my god, I feel like that I made such an idiot of myself. I had one where I was at an event at a party, like an after event party with people, and I was so out of my depth because I never go to parties. I was so out of my depth, and I was just trying to make. I'm so bad at small talk. I freaking hate small talk so much. So I was trying to make small talk with somebody, and I was talking to this girl, and we were just talking about the things that happened here today. And then we were at the party, and I asked her like, "Oh, what are you doing like after this?" And it wasn't. And her reaction to it, I'm pretty sure, I think her reaction to it gave me the sense that she thought that I was trying to be like, hey, what are you doing after this? Like that wasn't my intent at all. Because she was the girlfriend of my other friend, and I already knew that anyway, so I wasn't trying to hit on her. I was genuinely just curious, like I was like wondering if there were other things that were happening after this party happened that people were going to go to. So I was just genuinely asking, like, oh, do you guys have anything, like, are you guys going to do anything after this, like anything fun? She's like, and her reaction to it gave me the impression that she thought I was like asking, like, hey, you doing anything later, when I was not. So I still think about that sometimes, and I was so out of my depth already and uncomfortable And in my head, I'm like, just say like, oh no, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Like, but like I was just so socially awkward and just so embarrassed in that moment. I didn't know what to do. And so I just never clarified that. But she was just like, oh, you know, I think we're just going to go back to the hotel and chill after this. So anyway, if anything, I think that would be my embarrassing moment. Or just the thing that I think about that I'm like, God, that was so uncomfortable. Because all I had to do was just be like, oh no, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Like I just wanted to know if there's like anything cool, like any other parties or anything cool to go check out after this. But I was just so in the moment, like, oh my God, this just got so uncomfortable. Like I'm such an awkward guy already, like, and not like so introverted and not good and so like never go to parties. Like my first like big party with a bunch of people, and so there was that one. That one I think that's like a good that's that for me. I think about that sometimes. So yeah. There you go. There's my really awkward, embarrassing moment. Thank you for your question. Yeah. So that was a good learning experience. So I know to be more careful with my choice of words moving forward in scenarios like that, I guess. Yeah. You know, being in the content creator space has really helped me though. I'm like a lot better with small talk and being sociable nowadays. So that was a good learning experience. Next question. Hi, Ryoshi. If you read my question, thank you very much. You're very welcome. That's it. That's literally all the message says. I hope you're happy. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you for your question. Next question. Hey, Ryoma Barrenwort. This should be an easy challenge for you. The doctor writes... Oh, God. The doctor writes an order to infuse a solution. The order reads, infuse 300 milliliters over 6 hours. What is the hourly rate? Milliliters per hour? Who did this? I like how my middle initial unofficially has become G. Wait, how does that... Wait, why G? Wait, Ryoma Barrenwort? Is that G stand for gaming? What is that? Infuse a solution... 300 ml. I'm assuming ml is milliliters, right? ml is milliliters, right? I'm not crazy. ml per hour. No, ml over 6 hours. What is the hourly rate of milliliters per hour? The order reads, infuse 300 milliliters over 6 hours. Does that mean 300 total? Like after 6 hours, there should be 300 infused, right? So then if I need a total of 300 after 6 hours, is it 50? Right? 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, right? Is it 50? Is it 50 per hour? If I'm reading this correct, if the total is supposed to be 300 after 6 hours, then it's 50 per hour, right? Because 50... I'm like making two columns. I'm like going like left, right, left, right, left, right. So it'd be like 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. Yeah. Yeah, it's 50, right? It's got to be 50. It's got to be 50. 300 divided by 6 hours milliliters equals 50 milliliters. Okay. I'm pretty sure I got that right. Let's go. No more math questions, guys. Sorry, Lady Ryonya. I didn't mean to scare you. She just jumped. Sorry. It just goes. I just get so heated by math. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, baby. No more math questions. You're scaring Lady Ryonya. No more math questions. All right, last message. And it just says, hello, sir. Hello. Thank you for your message. Oh, sorry, kitty. You're okay. She says no more math questions, guys. It's too scary. Math is too scary. Okay. We did it. We got through all of the questions. Thank you guys for all the messages. Made good time on that one too. Nice. Just under 2 hours. Let's go. All right. I have posted the Maro link on the community tab here. It is the most recent post on the community tab. There's my Marshmallow QA link. I have opened it up again, so you guys can go ahead and drop, you know, any messages or questions you have in there, and we'll read them again probably next week. Yeah. Sound good? Ryoma good at math, Barrenwort. Also good at golf. Don't forget, good at golf, Barrenwort. Is that what the G stands for? Ryoma golfing, Barrenwort. Next golf stream we had plus 10 was our personal best. We're getting under plus 10 next time, guaranteed. You just watch. You just watch. What is your wisdom today? Grapes. Thank you guys for coming to this episode of Real Mondays. Thank you for all your questions and messages. I appreciate it. Thank you. Love you all. Thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for all the gifted. Thanks for the supas. I appreciate it. Let's see. Today is my meeting day. I may try to sneak in a stream before. We'll see. Looking at my schedule, like I said, we have a collab with we're playing Apex with BB and Rico on Thursday. I don't have anything scheduled. And Friday's gonna be a really busy day. A lot of stuff happening on Friday, and I don't really have stuff scheduled outside of that. I have family stuff this week, like tomorrow, I'm pretty sure, and also on the weekend. So we'll kind of see. I kind of have stuff up in the air, you know. So we'll see how that all plays out and how that impacts my time to stream. So I don't have any like things scheduled really. I like I said, I'm probably not gonna post a schedule on Twitter this week. It's probably just gonna be you'll just have to keep an eye out for a gorilla stream. So be sure you're subscribed if you aren't already. Consider hitting that notification bell so you get notified whenever something, you know, waiting room gets posted or whatever. Follow me on Twitter, X parentheses formerly Twitter end parentheses. Oh my god, I have recording stuff I have to do this week too. Yeah, it's kind of a crazy week for me. So like I said, I'm just gonna sneak in my old you know, gaming streams here and there where I can. Is the plan. That is the plan. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your morning, evening, and afternoon. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. If you're on the VOD team, shout out to Team VOD. Appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys later. Soon TM. Okay? Soon TM. Recording? Yeah, I have voice pack stuff I'm working on. One of these ones coming up soon. It might even be this one. I can't remember. One of these upcoming ones will also be in Japanese. I'm gonna be giving it a shot to also release not just an English VP, but also a Japanese voice pack. So look forward to that. This might be the one that I go for. I can't remember. Truthfully, I don't remember. So I gotta sit down. But just so you guys know, spoiler alert, yeah, you'll have that to look forward to on the horizon. So JP Bros, this one's for you. Shoots 3-pointer, whiffs with my horrible pronunciation. But it'll be good practice for me to try to learn, obviously to work on my pronunciation and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. It should be really difficult, but also pretty fun and exciting. So I hope people enjoy it. Yeah. Yep. So look forward to that. I hope that you guys enjoy. All right, friends. I'm really hungry. I'm gonna go get some food. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching this episode of Rio Mondays. I'm gonna go eat food. I might try to sneak in a gorilla stream underneath my meeting. We'll see how it goes. Okay. All right, friends, I'm out of here. I will see you later. Don't forget, the Morrow is now open if you want to drop messages or questions for next week. The link is on the community tab. Okay, see you later. Do I want to golf later? I might play Apex.